Hey everyone, this is Blackbinder, and welcome back to the Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire. Last time we left off, we were exploring Hylia's Roost, and then a Valian trading mill, whatever, fought some Delemgans, or a Delemgan and a Minpigua. I don't know how to say that. But anyway, we're at Fort Deadlight now, and let's talk to Aldous.
Allow me to tip my cup to a beautiful friendship and a fine captain. Aye. Well, what can I do, you lovesome?
I thought you'd like to know I helped Mad Morena in the Undercroft.
So I heard. And so I'm impressed. I like when someone does me and mine a favor. Makes me feel real friendly towards them, you know? And I like to give my friends little tokens of my appreciation, like this.
The Swift Hunter's Garb. 7 armor rating with 20 recovery time. It's average. Lithe Motion. Minus 5% recovery time and 10% of incoming crits converted to hits. Nope. Sorry.
Expect me to be in touch, if or when I need you. Elsewise, do come to see me should you happen to uncover any particularly juicy tidbits regarding Ferrante's political schemes.
Show her the Engoliero. Like my sword?
That I do, Loveson. A real powerful one you got there. Where in Aora did you happen to find it?
I got it from Isir the Baratheon, the priest who killed Lucia Rivan.
Think Rivan will be wanting that then? I know I do.
She taps her chin in thought.
Hold on to that, Loveson. You've given me a thought as to how I might track the floating hangman. I'll tell you further when I know more myself.
About Ferrante.
Got something for me, Dove? I'm all ears.
Haha, because she's an elf. Ferrante asked me to search Nekataka for information on the floating hangman.
Nekataka? But why there, Loveson?
Aldous crosses her arms beneath her breasts. Okay.
Well, go on then. I'm sure you've heard our saying. Share and share, as is the law of the coast.
After Lucia Rivan was slain by a Baratheon priest, she rose as a death guard.
Explains how she's captain of an undead crew. That also tells me, if she's a death guard, then there'll be something she's wanting most fierce. Something she may be willing to bargain for. This bit of knowledge is something I can assuredly work with. I always did like untangling the threads of history. It's like puzzling out an encoded treasure map. Only to reap these spoils, we've to uncover the mysteries of the past. Give me time, and I'll find the means to deal with Lucia. Then we'll be one fathom closer to commandeering the floating hangman.
The captain hands you a weighty sack of coins and at the same time signals a nearby sailor to bring her a series of nautical charts. Clearly, she's eager to begin her hunt. Apparently, an old Darkosi paladin, Lucia Rivan, commands the floating hangman.
The floating hangman is the remains of the Fonferus. Interesting. Quite very interesting. I had heard rumors as to such. The floating hangman flies a flag featuring the burning palace from Old Valia.
Already lost in thought, Aldous gives you an absent nod and some coins. Ferrante's interest in Crookspur's slave trade involves the Valian Trading Company.
Well, well. Ain't that a fine thing to know? It makes sense for certain.
Her eyes narrow.
Aiding the slavers is small fry for a captain like Ferrante. It wouldn't pay well enough to be worth the investment. If you've evidence of his involvement, keep it close. We may be able to use it to our benefit later. Oh, aye, you've brought me a juicy tidbit this time. Now I'll be after it like a shark on a blood trail.
With a pleased expression, she tosses you a small sack of coins, so we just made 5,500 gold. Copper. Not bad.
As you wish, Dove. I am happily and wholeheartedly at your disposal. At least until I get bored.
What did you want to meet me about?
I've got a problem, Watcher. And I think you're just the captain to solve it. Me and Ferrante don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. Not least of which is the future of the Principe. We got few rules amongst us new bloods. But one of them is that you live free. We steal and we might murder, but if you pledge to us, you're our blood, our family. Now, if I were to act in direct opposition to Ferrante, he'd use it to call a vote of the Council of Captains. He'd see me swinging by the neck. But no one's got a leash on you. Which means if you were to, perchance, free the slaves at Crookspur, Ferrante couldn't do piss all about it. No one deserves to be enslaved by another. Understand?
I agree, but I don't think that's actually why you want me to free them.
I'm asking you to sail to Crookspur to meet with one of mine. She's hiding within their midst, and will have insider information on the slavers.
How do I find your pirate at Crookspur?
She'll find you, Lovesome. You'll know her by her scar. It's a ghastly sight.
I will go to Crookspur.
Find me when you've freed those slaves. I'll make it worth your while.
She nods her head.
Captain.
Alright, let's get out of here. Hold on, let's check out this. Whatever this is. Oh, that's just to open the back door. I'm sure there was a chest in here we didn't have the mechanics to unlock, but I forget where it is. Hopefully we will run into it or something. Or maybe it doesn't exist. I don't know. Let's go talk to Skadewin, see what he has for sale. Nope, nothing. Okay. Then we will leave. I will check out these merchants down here, though. If I remember correctly, one of them's got quite a few decent items. No Nut Ned.
You shopping for right away?
The Bloody Lynx. 9 armor and grants blood price. +5 to all defenses when you become bloodied, so no. Crit damage with weapons. Huh. +10% crit damage with weapons, or +3 accuracy, which makes me more likely to get crits. Probably the +3 accuracy. Oh, there we go. There's something I can unlock. Wait, what is that? A blunting belt. Not worth trying to steal it. Was he the only one? I guess he must have been. Oh well. To port. Where do we want to go now? It looks like Crookspur Island is going to be our next destination. So let's see what we can discover between here and there. Where are you, Crookspur? All the way north. So let's go. We'll discover this part of the map all around Crookspur. Let's go straight north. Get out of that storm. That person looks like they're gonna attack me. Yep. We'll stay on the outside and then work our way inward if we see anything. This actually looks like it might be... No, it's not. Alright. Serafens, the truly insane. I remember meeting her before. Or at least seeing our ship. Really? There's no place to land on this island? That's strange. You find 2 of your crew members playing a game in the hold. You're examining cargo in the hold when the sound of whispers and muted laughter draws you deeper into the darkness. You carefully round a stack of crates to find Vector and Emieni engaged in a round of Orland's Head. Vector salutes. Hello, Captain. We're putting down copper on Orland's Head if you're looking to join for a round. In the first game, if you played this game and you won like 3 times in a row, you'd get a dagger specific trait. Sure, I can play around. Mayhaps we might be throwing the daggers at the hands instead. Serafens crosses his arms. Vector cants their head, but the carving doesn't have hands. Hands as in deck hands as in you fathom-addled barnacle. Serafens sighs. Oh, we're far too large to make good targets, Serafens. Vector shrugs, looking at Emieni. Fantastic, Emieni takes a step back. I'll sit this one out. I don't like losing coin. Vector chuckles, produces a dagger, and spends an unnecessary length of time aiming the shot before loosing it at the Orlan. The dagger sinks into the Orlan's mouth. You want to hit him on the nose, I believe. 5 points. Take aim at the Orland's ears or nose. Let's go nose. 10 points for me. 1 point, so no. Let's go for the ears. Got it. I'm guessing the ears are easier to hit. Yep, we beat him. Thanks for the game. I'll get you next time, mark my words. For now, we'll get back to our duties. Can't play it over and over again like you could in the White March DLC in the first game. There's Hasongo and the Huwana Master Captain. Why are these, shit. Do not want to fight you. Leave me alone. Why are there port areas here if there's nothing on the island? Doesn't make any sense. Maybe there's quests here later? Let's check this one out just in case. Maybe it's a random event or something that happens when you're walking around. Nope, nothing. Alright, let's go onward to Crookspur. Or at least onward to fleshing out this Fog of War. There we go. Here's a good place to port. There's two things. Millhouse doubles as a stopping ground for travelers and traders to rest their weary legs. That's a weird place to have a millhouse. Gosh darn it, I did not mean to click that. We do need to come here and talk to everyone, though. You know what, let's just see what they have to say.
But I must prepare for my work as Sayuka.
Takehu, Oswald, Littleluca, Vector, Beodol, Seraphen, Maya. Let's talk to Seraphen, see if he's got anything to say.
Hi, Cap. Benjeritic. Shodi seems a right fine lass and all, but, well, she asked me to pick around in the forts. Told her I didn't see nothing. I bounced right off of her. But that were a lie.
Of course you lied, you were talking. What did you see?
Darkness, Cap, and little but. Then fires, make an ash of everything.
He shudders, and you feel a cold wave roll off him like being doused by a stormy swell. You should tell her the truth? Seraphen winces, his hand moving to his forehead.
We're afraid you might say something akin to that. I touched her mind for a second, but felt something pull me in and keep me trapped for what seemed like days. I ain't seen its like before. Sometimes, old sorts get nightmares so that I can't bunk around them. But they usually ain't this flavor of apocalyptic.
If it were you, would you want to know? I know Shoti has nightmares. You could help her overcome them.
Right, fair point, Cap. We all deserve a fighting chance against our demons. And mayhaps I can help the lass stack the odds in her favor.
Well, she doesn't have nightmares anymore, but yeah.
Ahoy, Captain. What can I do you for?
Nope, we're done. Nothing specific.
I should come clean about something, Captain.
Maya scratches the back of her head, sighing. Speak your mind. Is this where you betray me, Maya?
What? No. I mean, what?
Perplexed, Maya shakes her head.
Atsura didn't set me loose just so I could stay busy. Fact of the matter is, he gave me a job to do. I've got this stack of missives I need to deliver. Noble errand, right?
She shows you a small collection of scrolls in her pack, all judiciously sealed with the sigil of the Royal Deadfire Company.
The company has a lot of people working away from headquarters, and Atsura trusted me to get these in the right hands.
I'll see that we make the deliveries in good time.
Appreciate it, Captain. You'd be doing Atsura and the company a big favor. This one's bound for Harama, an acquaintance, good sailor. He's somewhere off in Tikawara. And these are for Tuaha, an old friend stationed in Port Maje. You meet some strange types in the Navy.
I had some questions.
I've got some answers.
You're one of Kana's siblings, aren't you? How the hell would I know that? Kana was my Huwana companion in the first game.
Sure am. And I heard that you two spent some time together. Funny how the gods toss things together. Kana came back from the Deerwood with a head full of ideas about Rauatai's expansion. Getting out from under the academics suited him. I never knew he could be so political. More than his sister ever could be. You clearly had some sway on his opinions. More than I ever did. Wish you had told Kana to give up on the poetry. He's got no ear for it.
That's not good, considering he's a freaking chanter, and they recite poems and stories all the time. I did my best to help Kana find the meaning he sought.
You kept him alive in any case, while he wandered the lands in search of stories.
Maya huffs, shaking her head.
I do with bullets what Kana did with words. Just in case you were wondering, the comparison ends there.
Maya tips her head and studies you to make sure the point came across. That's funny she says with bullets, because Kana, his main weapon that he starts with is an arquebus. How did you and Ishiza first get acquainted? Who is Ishiza? Her pet?
I won a shooting competition at the Ranganui's estate. This was a few years before enlisting with the Navy. As a reward, he gave me the freedom of the Royal Eyrie and said I could take my pick of the warbirds.
Nice. Maya kneels and strokes under Ishiza's beak.
Stinkfeathers here kicked a rather pretty hawk off my arm so he could have me all to himself. Been inseparable ever since.
Hello, Ishiza. Who's a good bird? The bird cocks his head, his eyes reflecting a mixture of friendly recognition and murderous calculation.
Uh-oh. That's his I'm hungry and you're wasting my time face. Better step back, Captain.
Tell me about your family.
Well, my parents came from the Deadfire. I'm getting a taste of my roots.
Oh, that makes sense. Both her and Kana, now that I think about it, are like orange. Their skin is orange. Maya exhales and glances away.
After they emigrated to Rauatai, their talents caught the Ranganui's eye. He saw them as this spectacle, this achievement of the old country. So they were honored guests. Not many Huana rose to distinction in Takoa. We were also curiosities. Even as we broke the same bread and tossed back the same wine, the Ranganui's friends always checked under the table to see if I had a tail. Kana thought it was hilarious.
Island Amua aren't that different from coastal Amua.
You're telling me. Growing up in the Ranganui's shadow wasn't all bad. We had tutors and advisors at our disposal, and lots of folk from stranger parts than these. I spent my days learning to shoot, while my more academic siblings learned to express themselves. I leave you to judge who spent their time better.
Let's be off. Let's talk to her again, see if anything
I know
changed.
Exactly what you're thinking.
Maya folds her arms and clicks her tongue against the roof of her mouth. What's that?
You're asking yourself, how did I let the Royal Deadfire Company plant an informant in my crew?
She chuckles to herself, but there's a note of resignation to it.
My superiors might expect me to report in from time to time, but don't read too much into it. You're not the only big thing happening around here. I'm in this for a lot of information, a little diplomacy, and plenty of target practice.
She opens her palms and shrugs. At least you're up front about spying on me.
Better that you hear it from me than someone else, right?
Hands on his hips, Seraphen grins.
The company isn't in the business of reassigning officers outside of the mission unless they've got a damn good reason. And you are a damn good reason. Take the compliment.
What if my actions damage the Royal Deadfire Company?
This whole campaign is a risk-benefit analysis. The Navy knows you're a gamble, and they're factoring in all potential losses.
Maya wipes a line of black powder from her cheek.
Rauatai is here to do some good work, since the Huana can't seem to do it themselves. Maybe just try and stay out of our way.
Tekehu furrows his brow, sighing through his nose. That's the water shaper guy. The godless Huana. I'm seeking A at this. I want no part. No. As long as you're keen on taking orders, I don't object to having you aboard. Sure.
Uncomplicated. Just the way I like it. Oh, guess you ought to meet the bird. Ishi is smarter than he looks, but don't expect him to do any tricks.
She nods toward the colorful bird of prey hopping around your ankles.
Ishi, come.
Maya taps her arm with 2 fingers and clicks her tongue again. Ishi simply claws at the ground and investigates some bugs a few graceful hops away. Coo at Isha. Sure. You make soft, welcoming sounds to Isha, who turns and regards you with rapt attention.
Careful. I've seen him peck out eyes for less. Before we get into deeper waters, I've got a question.
Maya clears her throat into her fist.
You've got a ship and a title. Being captain means more than just wearing a big hat. A lot of tough calls to be made.
But I still get the big hat, right?
Well, naturally. That's your right. A crew can be like family. They can also be like a nest of squalling infants. Let's say your galley cook was fixing to organize the rest of the crew into a mutiny. How would you handle it?
I'd get ahead of the problem and compromise with the crew. If she had a better grasp on morale, I'd cede command until we made port. No. I'd get ahead of the problem and compromise with the crew.
Sort it out as equals. Interesting.
That would be stupid, because there's always someone who wants power over you, or who wants power instead of you. So they would just foment rebellion. And a captain's never going to be able to talk with the crew as much as, like, the crew are going to be able to talk with the crew.
Of course, the only right answer is the one that works in a given time and place. I just wanted to hear yours.
Awfully specific question.
Stranger things have happened at sea. Believe me. But enough about me. Glad to be aboard, Captain.
Let's be off. We'll talk to her again.
Your orders, Captain?
Nope, let's be off. Let's go talk to Shodi about what Serafens said. And maybe get some alone time with her.
I'm all ears. Tell me what's on your mind.
It's not as funny as when Aldous says it. Because she's an elf and you're not. How are you feeling? Have you suffered any recent nightmares?
Not a one. Thanks to you. I
Nope.
never knew nothing.
It's already
makes
said
it feel
that.
So no need to fiddle-foot around. Sure thing, Watcher.
Alright, so she has nothing to say. Can I talk to my steward yet? I don't know why I can't talk to my damn steward. Emieni, Berta. Let's talk to Berta. That's a big girl. The sailor hums happily. Pallegina. We need to talk to her a lot.
I would find myself back with the Watcher of Cadnua, much less at the order of Akanta.
Her expression fluctuates between amusement and annoyance.
I know that you did not intend for misfortune to befall me, and I appreciate what you said in Queen's Birth. Perhaps this time will go better for both of us. You only have to ask.
Whatever happened with you and Maneha? Maneha was one of the companions in the DLC of the first game. Pallegina slowly turns her head in your direction, eyebrows raised, and her eyelids nictitating out and back. All these new words. Que? You and Maneha, you were together, weren't you?
Menea was a good companion and a skilled warrior, but her imagination got the better of her. It appears to have gotten the better of you as well.
A bird and a crazy Amawa, was she a berserker? Yeah, I think a berserker, or a barbarian. Why not? She runs her fingers along a wayward feather pointing in an odd direction from her wrist, pressing it flush against her skin. Can you tell me more about what happened after we defeated Teos?
After we parted ways, I returned to the Republics and reported to the Duke's bells. I failed to complete my mission and had no excuses. The Republics had lost a golden opportunity to trade with the Glanfathens, and the Dukes were furious.
I think I did what was best for the Deerwoodens, and I think she believed that eventually it would be best for the Republics, because it wouldn't drag them into a war or something, or a trading war, or if the Deerwood grows, then we can trade better with the Valian Republics. I don't remember exactly what, though.
They exiled me from the Brotherhood, scoured the suns from my breastplate, put me on a ship to raid Ceres. Diverus, I was lucky to escape with my life. I worked as a guard. Caravans, ships, wealthy merchants. I did not discriminate. After my exile, both my purpose and my pride were gone. The years have taken me from the eastern reach to the Deadfire. Some would say it is fate that has brought us together again, Watcher. But you must already know what I think. It is just luck. Time will tell if it is good or ill.
What's your opinion on what's happening with Aethys?
Whatever they are up to cannot be good for any of us.
Probably not.
At their best, the gods are powerful children. At worst, they are little more than mad beasts taking out their anger on our world. I have little interest in distinguishing which type Aethys is.
How do you like the Deadfire so far?
Where I am assigned is of no concern to me. But I do think the Deadfire can be profitable for the Republics. If the Dukes need me here, I am glad to serve them.
How are you?
Good. I have no concerns, Watcher.
Oh, good. Let's talk to you again.
Is there something you wanted to talk about? You only have to ask.
Nope. Okay. Emieni Constantin.
What are we standing around for?
Fascina.
I'm glad we have this chance to talk.
Fascina folds her arms and
I
glowers.
have not properly thanked you for taking me away from that place.
The dark cupboard?
That shop and my apprenticeship were like a diving bell. dragging me all the way to the bottom with barely enough air to survive.
She winces.
Arkemir was fond of tormenting me. If he had taught me anything of substance, I might even have endured his wretched company a while longer. In any case, now I am free to study the world, and it is because of you. So, now I will say it. Agrasina.
What did you want to learn that only Arkemir could teach?
What a question.
Fasina clucks her tongue on the roof of her mouth and nods.
Arkemir is elusive. That flamboyant house of his? It is all a performance, a mask that people will not think to peer beneath. I had a sneaking suspicion that he knows more about magic than the rest of the circle combined. Or maybe he is just an accomplished liar. I may never know the truth.
Are you interested in any particular areas of study?
It is a funny thing. I was so quick to chase my ambitions, as if an apprenticeship would outline the course of my life. In the end, I was building a castle in the sand. The taller it rose, the harder the waves swept in to batter it down. Now I have no plan, and the uncertainty is a refreshing change.
Before we head out, any thoughts on our travels so far?
Right now, I desire nothing more than to enjoy my liberation. I will worry about the problems of the world as they come.
Fasina smiles a little. I'm curious about you.
I came to the archipelago as a groveling apprentice. One day, I hope I will leave it with a speck more dignity than that. What more could you desire to know, Casita?
Ever aspire to be an archmage yourself?
Not if it means I must submit to a bickering council of madmen plotting against each other. If I ever scribed a spell, it would be the best-kept secret in Eora. Only I would enjoy the satisfaction of knowing it.
Fasina thumbs her chin and considers.
Fasina's mirthless laugh. Fasina's prickling pox. No, I have it. Fasina's withering glare. I like the sound of that.
How did you get into Arkemir's employ?
Being a part of the circle has its little perks, but also some headache-inducing responsibilities. At least one member must always watch over the Deadfire and see that matters do not fall into total disarray. Arkemir wanted the job about as much as he wanted to lance a boil on his deflated scrotum.
Gross.
But the alternative was giving stewardship to Maura. No one in the circle trusted her with the archipelago.
What did they have against Mara?
With trading companies dividing up the islands, they didn't think a Huana could stay detached. They also hate tentacle.
Oh yeah, that's right. Mara's something tentacles.
During the changing of the guard, while a handful of imps loaded Arkemir's ship for the journey south, I stowed away in a dresser. Once we were at sea, I made my presence known. A dozen imps tore at my hair and pushed me towards the railing. When Arkemir saw me struggle, he didn't step in to help. He just gave me work. I did what I could to make myself useful. Stitched the sails, disciplined the imps. That one impressed him most of all. By the end of the voyage, I had the little stinkers saluting me as I passed.
Fasina cracks her knuckles and grins at the memory. That's right, the one imp in the shop did miss her when she left.
When we made port in Neketaka, he introduced me as his apprentice and installed me at the cupboard for a life of clerical drudgery. You know the rest.
You and Bertano didn't seem especially well paired. Constantin edges a bit closer. When he catches you looking his way, he frantically motions for you not to say anything.
I was searching for a life beyond the cupboard, and that handsome oaf was blessed with a silver tongue. Came in handy when he was licking the boots of his creditors. I don't regret our time together. That was just a different Fasina.
Pressing her lips into a tight line, she turns to
What
Constantin.
are you looking at? Go back to rearranging your massage oils or whatever it is you do here.
Aye, Casita.
Constantin salutes her sarcastically and turns away, a sly grin spreading on his face. What do you want to do with your education?
I have always dreamed of opening a magic shop in Neketaka.
I mean, you already really ran one and you hated it, so... Fasina sighs wistfully and looks off to the distance, pushing a lock of hair past her ear.
That was a joke.
Okay, she grins back at you.
When I set out on this path, I discovered quickly that magic is all tied up in grammar, precision, and insufferable rules. Take a grimoire, for example. Misplace an accent mark over a rune, all the logic of a spell collapses around it.
And you'd prefer something more ill-defined? Why, exactly?
Go on.
I don't want to break the rules of magic, but I want to rewrite some of them. Loosen them up so that any sharp mind can take up the study.
So, you don't want to be a wizard, you want to be a sorcerer. You want magic to come to you naturally.
The Circle would hate that, wouldn't they? If they could not reinforce their superiority over the rest of us, they might even disband.
Fasina chews her thumbnail and smiles. You must have some thoughts about Aethys and the other
You
gods.
assume a great deal, Casita. When they are not striding across an island, the gods concern me about as much as Eora's moons.
Fasina shrugs.
Religion was never very important to me. I do not expect that to change now that the gods have revealed their petty, narrow-minded ways.
You know the gods are artificial, right?
I heard a member of your crew whispering of this, but I am pleased to have it confirmed.
Fasina narrows her eyes and looks off to the distance.
Knowing this forbidden truth, does it change anything for you?
I no longer have to take the gods at their word.
Perfetto.
Perfect, I think. Well done. Fasina gives a slow, mirthless
If the
applause.
gods are not as legitimate as we once assumed, does this make them any less our gods? Does it make your Ardra Colossus retrace his steps back to Cadnu?
No, they're still very powerful, I guess you're right.
As far as revelations go, this one is not very poignant for me. Maybe I'm just the wrong audience. Nothing takes me by surprise. Ask away, Casita.
Any thoughts about our
I
companions?
do not hate Tekehu for his arrogance. I only hate that he deserves it.
Ha. Any thoughts about our companions?
Serafin has a large heart, but he hides it under foul language. This is something I can understand. Your friend Aloth carries himself with confidence, but to me he seems like a small animal in search of shelter.
The same for me.
Shoti is like a beautiful tree with poisoned roots. Her smile is the bark which hides the rot. Keep an eye on Maya. I'll say no more than that. In Pallegina, I see a little something of myself, but she takes it to an unhealthy place. Without leadership and a mission, I think she would cease to exist. Shoti is like a...
Alright, let's be off. See Idwin.
Captain.
Idwin looks up from a book, her carmine eyes tightening on you.
Or should I call you the Watcher of Cadnua? I confess that title. Something of a mouthful.
Alright, looks like we're going to do talking for the rest of the episode, so if you guys aren't interested, you can bail out now. But yeah, we're already at 30 minutes. I'm going to keep talking, though. I take it you've heard something of me.
Captain it is, then.
Or whoops, I accidentally said Cadnua's gone. It's just Captain now. Her chin raises slightly as she peers through her spectacles.
When you took me aboard, you neglected to mention that you were in pursuit of a rampaging deity.
I'm sorry, I should have told you what was going on.
I appreciate the apology, but it's unnecessary. The Blue Colossus may be one of the defining events of the age. I count myself fortunate to bear witness to your investigation. Speaking of, let us return to it, yeah?
I think this is the narrator's voice. She bows slightly at the waist in farewell.
Ado, Cap, do you require my expertise?
I wanted to ask you about your work as an
My
animancer.
study. I cannot promise a dissertation, but I'll happily discourse upon the broader strokes.
What is your specific area of study?
You haven't read my work, then?
She chuckles quietly.
As an apprentice, I focused on, and then helped discredit, the phrenological approach. At the time, it seemed more difficult than I thought it should be.
Why is that?
Some of my colleagues had a vested interest in a model of the world that included an inherent hierarchy of kith.
I think phrenology is like the racial aspect. Like, phrenology in our world was like how blacks are different than whites.
That some kith made more worthy receptacles for souls than others, based on the shape of their brow or the length of their ears, was apparently an idea too tantalizing to abandon.
Well, I mean, there might be a difference.
Afterwards, my interest turned to the theoretical, before shifting a few decades later to the study of parapsychological inertia.
Pair of what?
Parapsychological inertia. The tendency for some souls to gravitate towards familiar locales or engage in behaviors exhibited from past lives. From there, I moved on to work in metamortality, the
Nature versus
scientific
nurture,
study of
I'm guessing.
souls over lifetimes and the cycle of reincarnation, which brings us to the present.
What do you hope to do with what you learn?
You set the sled before the dogs. Before making decisions regarding what should be done, we must first understand what is. Anything else is a dream in the dark.
So what do you hope to learn from your
The
studies?
truth, of course.
Smiling, she opens her palms to you.
I'm sorry that I have no simple answer for you. Embarking on inquiry with an agenda. That is how mistakes get made.
So you're entirely without bias? I doubt it.
Not at all. But I admit them.
Any idea how Aethys is moving that statue across the sea? She laughs, a flat palm covering her open mouth.
I could theorize, but given how little I've observed of him, it would be irresponsible of me to do so. It must require incredible energy, though. Staggering amounts of soul essence. And can Audra truly be so flexible? Why does he not crumble?
She shakes her head and shrugs.
Whatever he is, however he accomplishes it, perhaps we can discover together, if the discovering doesn't kill us.
What's so important about Luminous Audra? Yes, I want to know as well.
That depends on who you ask. Generally, Audra conducts soul energy. Luminous Audra also stores it, however. Is it simply a worse conductor getting clogged by essence? Or is this indicative of a specialized function? Unfortunately, greed stymies inquiry. Rawatai and the Republics grind every ounce they find down into bath salts.
That's enough for now?
Of course, Captain. Greetings. Do you require my expertise?
How did you end up in the Valian Republics?
It was neither so random nor so strange a thing as your question would suggest. In a word, animancy. The Republics take the most progressive attitude towards the subject, and thus they attract its foremost scholars, among whom I count myself.
Did you enjoy the Republics?
Very much so. Though I imagine you capable of finding someone much better suited to telling you of them. I spent most of my time in laboratories and libraries.
Then tell me of the laboratories.
In a way, your ship reminds me of them. A dozen kith from every corner of Aora, working towards a common goal.
It does sound pretty admirable and awesome.
While your crew pursues Aethys across the sea, ours pursue the future.
Like I would never. I hated labs in like science courses in college, but knowing that there is a lab of scientists working towards a goal is awesome. I think that that is good for humanity.
Each chasing our own dawn.
Her nose wrinkles slightly. Then tell me of the libraries.
I admit bias, but they are very likely the grandest in the world.
A faint grin lights her wan features. I think that's like white or pale.
Imagine great domes rising above your head, shelves along each wall, stacked high with tomes. As if the building itself were built of bound pages. They were the true treasure of the Republics.
I would have to agree.
The collected histories, dramas, and comedies of Old Valia. The most advanced arcane theories of Adir. The most ancient liturgical texts of Anguith. And the most advanced treatises on animancy.
Anything interest you besides studying?
Many things. A strong dark tea.
Oh, thank God. Yes, me too.
Play, the Song of a Whale.
I had to quit tea because I drank it too much.
The soft resistance of paper to quill, or fabric to needle. Discovering what's just over the horizon. There exists things in this world beautiful and wondrous both. One only needs leave the land to find them. Speaking of, let us see what the horizon holds, yeah? Adok, do you require my...
What do you make of our journey?
I admit to excitement. Curiosity. I cherish the opportunity to explore, to test my wits against ancient ruins and vicious wildlife. Most ships discourage such avocations.
Alright, we're finally done with her. She had quite a bit to say. Adair.
What's on you?
Nothing?
You look like you have something on your mind.
What do you know about the Valian Trading Company?
Well, they seem largely competent. I would feel better about that were they not run by profiteers and animancers.
He smiles wryly.
Well, Governor Clario seemed honest and well-intentioned. So one wonders why he was stationed at such an out-of-the-way post.
He raises an eyebrow, because honest and well-intentions doesn't go well in a friggin' cutthroat merchant guild. Do you have any thoughts on the Principi?
I'd heard Deadfire had a pirate problem, but I had no idea how large it was. Or how fashionable.
You get the sense he's impressed, despite himself.
Still, the only thing more dangerous than a unified pirate nation is one at war with itself. I worry about who will be caught in their crossfire.
I'd like your opinion on the Hawana leadership.
The Queen seems to operate with a light hand on the tiller, so to speak.
He tugs at the edge of his sash, thinking.
And I think that's a good thing. What the Deadfire needs is someone who can lead its people without smothering them.
Yeah, except she's not just not smothering them, she's not feeding them either. What do you think of the Royal Deadfire Company?
I think they're one of the most ordered and deliberate organizations I've ever seen.
Adair gives a nod and a wink.
And I don't entirely trust that. Not after the leaden key.
He strokes his chin, that's all. Venezi?
Let's get a move on.
Coin counter Foldus. Let's talk to Shodi again.
Watcher, tell me what's on your mind. Not a I never knew nothing.
Okay.
No need to fiddle foot. You know where to.
Can I do anything in here? No. I need to upgrade my cabin. But anyway, that's where we're going to leave it off for today. A lot of talking here, but we will get to Crookspur Island next episode. So please leave a like or comment below, and feel free to subscribe for more full Let's Plays like this one. And that's my mama.